was missing, then I remembered. She's
Yeah.
not missing, she's gone.
Yep, she's on Planning Commission now. We have started the live stream, just so you guys know. So it's going to be streaming on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, and we're going to be recording as well.
Okay, I have 5:30 by my clock.
I do too.
Okay, all right. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this historic May 4th edition 2020 of our Board of Adjustments meeting. Seeing as though we have a quorum and also looks like representation from both applications, we are set to begin. First item of business would be to approve the March 2nd, 2020 minutes.
I think Barbara's making the motion, but her microphone's not on.
Okay, is there a second to Barbara's presumed motion?
Second.
Second, all right. Move
Sorry,
to,
I was looking down. Who said that? Amanda?
Ursula.
Who seconded? Oh, Ursula, excuse me. Thank you.
Peter Brady, actually, or Marcia Brady, excuse me.
Got it.
Yeah. Move it to a vote. All in favor of approval of the minutes? Sign it by. Yeah, just in case, you sign it by, it'd be great. All right. All opposed? All right, motion's carried. Minutes are approved. Okay, we have just something to be thinking about for the members of the board. We have no old business or anything. However, at the end of this meeting, we will be discussing election of vice chair, so be pondering that. Next item of business would be for Mr. Perkins to virtually swear in everybody.
Have we, Mikhail and I had talked about that earlier, and I was going to do that as each one came up, unless we came up with a better plan. So is that still what we're doing?
I think that's what we're going to do with just 4 people,
Okay.
or with 3 people in attendance. I think that's the easiest way to do.
That'd be fine. Okay.
I
as
did
each one comes up,
briefly.
I'll administer the oath.
I am going to start sharing my screen. That way everyone in attendance can see visually what the applicants are requesting. I also briefly want to go over how attendees are able to, sorry, let me just do this quickly. Is everyone able to see my PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to mention briefly that G 2020-07, Linda Thacker is applying for a variance to reduce the rear yard setback from 25 feet to 15 feet for a sunroom at 216 Crystal Drive has been postponed. And Richard Derringer is applying for a variance to reduce the front yard setback from 50 feet to 28 feet a rear yard setback from 25 feet to 0 feet for a commercial building at 807 East Jackson Street has been withdrawn, so that will no longer be heard by the board. But I wanted to briefly just go through how attendees are able to indicate to us when they want to speak. So how this typically works is the applicant will go through their request and explain what they're looking to do. And then once the applicant gets a chance to speak, the chair will ask if anyone in attendance would like to speak on the application. So at this time, if you are looking to speak on an application, if you could just use the raise the hand function. It's just a button that you'll push. You should see it in Zoom. If you don't see it on your screen, if you're on a phone or a tablet, you might need to tap the screen for it to pop up, or hover near the bottom if you're on the computer. But if you can just hit the raise the hand function, our host Matt Summers will unmute your mic so you're able to speak. But beyond that, I'll give it back to you, Rhett. Sorry, I just wanted to go through that quickly.
No, that's fine. I appreciate you staying on it. It's new for everybody. Thank you. Okay, well, all that being said, we'll move on to our first actual application of the evening. Item G-2020-08, item 3B, USA Signs LLC representing Rural King. The applicant is requesting a variance to allow for a secondary wall sign to be placed on the same frontage as the primary wall sign and to exceed the maximum area allowed for 2 wall signs by 262.77 square feet at 1501 Paris Pike, Georgetown, Kentucky. Is everybody able to hear half decent? Everybody okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I believe there's somebody here in attendance representing as well.
Yep. Matt, if you could bump Cassandra Baker up to panelist so she's able to present it. There we go.
I see Ms. Barker here on the list of participants, but I see that she's still got her microphone muted. Maybe that's an item of concern.
Yeah, it looks like we have video. Cassandra, if you're able to unmute your mic, there you go.
Hi.
Okay, there you are. Okay. Well, Miss, if you have anything to discuss, and I'm sure there's quite a bit of material to be gone through with this application, feel free. Of course, Mr. Perkins, however you'd like to swear this young lady in as well.
Yes, can you hear me just fine?
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm the statement you're about to make to be the truth to the best of your information and belief?
Yes.
Thank you.
I don't think I have anything to add except that the sign that is there is already large anyways for the big K. There was a sign that was sworn in to be bigger, and with the frontage of the building, I don't think that it would look necessarily bad to have 2. I think the building's big enough that it's not going to it's not going to make the building look busy, but it's also not going to make it look like there's nothing there either. And I read through all the background information where there was a sign that was already large there. I think the main sign's fine. Our concern was adding the secondary sign, hoping to get that pushed through.
Okay, thank you. And then Michaela, did you have other things to show, or were you going to go through a presentation? Is that how you'd like to do it?
I wasn't planning on
Oh,
too
okay.
much unless you guys want me to go through the request somewhat to explain what you're actually granting the variance for. I know signs can be a little confusing. It looks like you're muted, Brett.
Oh, there we go.
No,
I see that, the one sign was removed, and, I'm sure everybody saw your email. But no, I mean, I guess discuss amongst yourselves. If you go through all the information here, it's much smaller than, say, Walmart, as it were. It's actually smaller even than the previous sign, if I'm reading that correctly, as far as the main sign goes. Yeah,
Yes.
I can't remember how down the side of Kmart went, if they had any secondary advertising or not. I don't remember if they had, the listings of this stuff or not. I don't remember. Somebody may remember better than me.
They might have had something very small for the garden area, but it was very small.
I can add that some of those secondary signs aren't uncommon around other big box stores throughout the city. Of course, most of those were requested about 20 years ago. So it's slightly different from what the sign ordinances that we have now in place. But essentially the way I phrased it is they do have a double frontage lot that allows them to have 2 wall signs. They're essentially requesting that their secondary wall sign be on the same frontage as their primary wall sign, which is the Rural King that you can see here, sign 1. And then sign 2 would be all these additional advertisements for some of the goods and products that they would be selling in their store. So it would exceed the maximum area, but yes, the sign 1 is a reduction from what was previously approved for the Kmart. But their request for total signage is an increase from what was previously approved there.
And none of this secondary stuff over to the, the right side of the building, it's not lit or any of that, is it? Or is it?
I'm looking at the paperwork. I think it is internally lit channel letters. Hold on, let me double check on that. No, they are actually non-illuminated.
Okay.
They're just mounted flush to the wall.
Okay. I just know that's where sometimes it gets hairy, but that's great. I've definitely seen this sort of signage before. I'm sure the rest of you all have as well. It's entirely appropriate. Even with it being, excessive of square footage in general on that big wall, it still almost gets lost. It's not, a ton of stuff, but I think it's appropriate and necessary.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there that don't know what Rural King is. So.
Right.
I didn't know that there was grocery offered. I'm kind of curious about that. So you already educated somebody.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty interesting. Like I said, my paperwork does not say that it is illuminated, so it says non-illuminated. So I'm going to assume that it's not unless they changed it last minute on me, which I do not believe they did. So.
Any other board members have any questions, comments, concerns, motions? Or is there anybody I can't see how I go back to see attendees and all that, but I can't imagine that there's anybody here to speak in opposition, but if there are, doesn't look like it.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the application based on staff recommendations. Motion has been made and seconded. It'll go to a vote. All those in favor? I guess I can. So that's okay. Motion carries. Application is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I guess that shows everybody here on this right side of the screen, right? No, I'm missing one.
Oh yeah, we're missing.
Oh, there she is. There is everybody. Okay. I'm sure Charlie had it, but I was having trouble counting.
No, actually I didn't have it. And also I was looking down writing when someone made their second. So who seconded that?
I did.
Oh, Vicky. Okay. Thank you.
I still have the Rural King thing up on mine. I don't see anyone but you, Charlie.
That suits me just fine.
Oh, strange times. Isn't it lovely to live through history?
Really? I don't know if it's lovely or not, Red.
Yeah.
Wait, what was Ms. Barker's position? Was she attorney? Was she an officer?
Oh,
Sorry about that. She was a representative from USA Signs.
So she
who
is
was
employed representing USA Science. Okay.
Yeah, who was appointed by Rural King to represent, and I do
Very
have
good.
an
Thank you.
affidavit for them to do so.
Okay, if everybody's ready, we will move on to our second application of the evening. G-2020-10. Cherry Blossom Development is requesting a variance to reduce the front yard setback along Oxford Drive from 25 feet to 23.8 feet for a residence at 101 Clubhouse Drive, Georgetown, Kentucky. And I believe Michaela had told me Mr. Brent Combs will be speaking on behalf of the application. Mr. Perkins and Mr. Combs.
Do we see Brent yet?
No,
He was there on panelists. He's there, but not there. He's a ghost. No microphone, no camera.
I think Matt needs to bump him up to a panelist, so he's probably working on that now.
Am I there?
Brent,
Yeah.
Brent, do you swear or affirm the statement you're about to make to be the truth to the best of your information and belief?
Yes, I do.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Combs, if you have anything you'd like to say in regards to the application, or if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns.
Well, the only thing I would comment is that even though listed as a front yard setback, that's true. It's a corner lot, so it actually has 2 front yard setbacks. We're not asking for the one along Clubhouse Drive, just along Oxford Drive. So to square it out, there's actually 2 dimensions, 1.2 feet in the front and just 0.8 feet in the back. And, that'll give them 49 feet in width for a house.
What'd you say the other street? Oh, it's the drawings up. Hold on.
Yeah, Clubhouse and Oxford.
Okay. So it's not on Clubhouse, it's on Oxford.
Yes.
Did I hear you say a moment ago that there was something in the rear also?
Well, I was just saying it's not a constant width. We just need 1.2 feet in the front on on Clubhouse Drive, and 0.8 feet in the back.
Is that not shown on the notice of the meeting?
I don't see anything in my information. I just see the 23.8, but not the secondary request.
What we might want to do, I can't really imagine that's even going to be noticeable by anybody, but we might, assuming the board's pleasure is to approve, we might want a motion first to simply declare this to be a de minimis request, and that by being left off of the application, notice that that basically doesn't amount to anything, and then proceed to approve it.
I would also recommend just asking if anyone in the public wants to speak on the application, just allowing them time.
Well, no, that's true, but since this was left off the application notice, that's the reason I was bringing that up. No, we've still got to proceed with it.
Okay, well, Charlie, you might have to, well, I guess I don't. We still need to make the motion to amend the application essentially, right?
But in effect, we're not really amending it so much as we're saying that it was left off the notice, which is ordinarily fatal. You've got to then redo it. This is such a minimal
Right.
adjustment. I just simply can't imagine it would be noticeable to anyone or have any practical effect on anyone. And therefore, the first motion I would suggest is simply to declare that request, though left off, is de minimis and doesn't prejudice anyone, and then go ahead and approve it, as opposed to kicking them back and making them go through all this again another month.
Okay. Would anybody like to make said motion?
Charlie? Charlie?
Yes.
If you want to keep the 23.8, that's fine. The 0.8 would actually make it even less of a variance. So the 23.8 is fine if we just want to do that.
Well, wait a minute. I thought the 23.8 is fine. I thought what we were talking about is that 0.8 you said in the back, in the rear. Did I misunderstand?
Yeah, the 23.8 would give a 1.2 foot variance the entire length. And I was going to taper it from 1.2 down to 0.8, but.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's still on the same side, but on the rear of it, it would only be 0.8.
Yes.
Yeah, he doesn't need it equal all the way across.
Okay. Oh, that's not what I understood you meant. Okay, I understand. It's still just the one variance. You were just going to shade it as it went back.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it at the minimum, but the 23.8 is fine if we want to go that route.
I think that'd be cleaner for everybody.
Okay, that's fine.
Not for an engineer, certainly, but for the rest of us, that'd be cleaner.
Yeah, it's like, bookkeepers. Is this going to drive you crazy, that fraction?
Yeah.
Is there anybody of the public that would like to speak in opposition or ask any questions about the application? Or do any members of the board have any questions, comments, or concern? Is anybody prepared to make a motion either in support or against the application?
Hey, Rhett, this is Amanda. I actually live in that neighborhood, so I'm not sure if you want me to recuse myself or not. I'm fine with it, but I wasn't sure about the.
In general, if it doesn't, dramatically is probably too strong a word, but if it doesn't have some significant effect on your situation, I wouldn't worry about it. I'd just go ahead and participate.
Okay.
If you're adjacent to it and it's pretty significant, that's when I would suggest you back out. But
Okay.
can't
It's
imagine.
nowhere near me.
Yeah. Okay. We haven't turned Brent down in a long time, so we probably ought to just let him go.
That's what I was trying to figure out, is if Amanda recuses herself, however, we would still have a quorum, So no, I was thinking maybe we'd do that to him. Yeah, you got to recuse yourself. Well, would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion has been made. Need a second? Or I suppose I can second the motion. Charlie lets me.
Oh, yes, you can.
Motion
We're
has
allowing
been.
you to be a full-fledged member.
Yeah. Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Make sure I saw everybody. Okay. All right. Looks like okay. There's Barbara and Ursula. All right. Motion carries. Application is approved. Thank you, Mr. Combs.
Thank you all.
Okay. Now I don't really know exactly how you all want to handle our next item of business. as far as electing and or appointing a vice chair. Is everybody comfortable doing it in this venue, or what would you all like to do? Or Michaela, had you thought about it, or Mr. Perkins? Or
I was going to let you guys decide if you were comfortable with voting on it today. We need to re-elect a vice chair because Mary Singer was previously the vice chair and has moved on to planning commission. So if you guys are comfortable with making a motion on that today, we can go ahead and do it. I think Charlie can probably speak in it, but I would assume just like we did the other motions. But if you guys want to hold off, we can do that as well.
are we just short one person then, essentially?
We are, we're
Understand.
waiting for a replacement to be appointed.
Okay.
Of course, that's a perfect opportunity to put him on the hot seat, but that's,
Yeah. Yeah, really. Yeah. Since he's not here. I don't know. And that was my only concern, is if anybody has spoken to him about it, or does this have to be done in session, or can it be done outside of normal meeting hours, or how does that work,
needs to
Charlie?
be in a session.
Has to be in a session.
Yeah, this is only up to the board, and that has to be done in session.
Okay. Well, does anybody feel any particular type of way about it? Would like to nominate anybody or nominate themselves, or? Do we
That
have
sounds like a
to?
volunteering meeting. I don't know.
Yeah, do we have to? We have to do it this session?
Yeah, can we just wait? till
Like
next month?
absolutely have to do it?
You don't have to do it.
No.
I mean, literally, you never have to actually do it.
I like the sound of that.
The-
But then again, that makes me wholly responsible until it becomes illegal. Then it's Charlie's problem.
Well, the principal difficulty it would create is relatively minor. If you're absent at a meeting, then the members who are present simply have to vote at that time for someone to chair that meeting. I mean, there really is no legal implication otherwise.
So Barbara's mic is not working, but she has said that she's willing to do it if you guys are comfortable with her putting her name forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you run unopposed? Is that how we're going to do it? And then what do we do?
Well, what we've done in the past is if someone is willing and there's no actual competition for the slot, then someone makes a motion to elect that person by acclamation, second vote. And if that vote wins, then that person is elected by acclamation.
Okay. Well, would anybody like to make said motion? Last chance, Ms. Moore.
I'll make a motion for Barb.
I second it.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay.
And I was
Ms.
looking.
Moore?
Who seconded?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I keep looking for Michaela to make a motion or a second or something. We're gonna get you on here one day, right? I feel like that'd be a conflict of interest, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Well, I suppose meeting is adjourned unless there's anything we need to be thinking about, talking about, or Michaela or Mr. Perkins have anything?
Nope, I don't have anything else for you guys.
I think it's time to go rest up from this strenuous meeting. We just.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever y'all do, don't get outside, enjoy the weather, you know. Okay, well, thank you all. It was weird, but I appreciate it. Sorry that my daughter didn't interrupt. So, okay, see you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.